Good evening and welcome to the 7 o'clock news here on CNC3. I'm Charlene Ramdani.
Good evening and glad you can join us. I'm Samson Anton.
In the headlines tonight, the National Security Minister reveals what he calls an entrapment plot involving the Port of Spain mayor to get him to meet with gang leaders. The Port of Spain mayor responds immediately. He denies Warner's claims outright and says he thought Minister Warner was his friend.
Heavy flooding in the capital city and environs following rain associated with the nearby passage of Tropical Storm Isaac. A 39-year-old man is murdered in Pity Valley following a row with someone he knew.
And in sports, Olympic 400 meters bronze medalist, 7th in Switzerland track meet. We begin with news tonight of a startling revelation this evening from National Security Minister Jack Warner of an attempt to trap him into meeting with gang members, contrary to the policy of the government. The minister gave journalists details of a meeting at the Mayor of Port of Spain's office to which he was invited, where he was surprised to see persons known to be involved in crime. Samson Anton tells us more.
National Security Minister Jack Warner says he received a request from the Mayor of Port of Spain, Louis Leasing, for a meeting at the Mayor's office on Wednesday, August 15th. He says he saw no reason not to attend, having not construed this as a meeting dictated by Balize House or the PNM, but simply as a meeting with the Mayor with whom he had met before on different issues. But then, he says, this transpired.
Upon entering the Mayor's office, I was surprised to see in the company of the Mayor the president of the PSA, Mr. Watson Duke, a member from his board, his association, and 2 unidentified individuals who I gathered from statements made later wish to leave behind them a life of crime.
He says that they agreed to a follow-up meeting on Wednesday, August 22nd with a larger group of members from the Laventil community at the St. Paul Street complex. Minister Warner says he immediately met with the Acting Police Commissioner, Stephen Williams, Deputy Police Commissioner, Mervyn Richardson, and the Chief of Defence Staff, Brigadier Kenrick Mirage, and proposed that they instead meet with the other members, telling them that he saw the meeting at the Mayor's office as an entrapment.
Why was I called by the Mayor into the meeting of last Wednesday? Why was I called into his office? What is important should also be, why didn't he attend yesterday's meeting? Or was he hoping that I would have been stupid enough to have arrived there in the glare of the hidden cameras that were planted there from the media?
The follow-up meeting took place as planned at the St. Paul Street complex on Wednesday, August 22nd.
I did not attend that meeting. I have since been advised. Present there was the head of the PSA, Mr. Watson Duke. Also, you had another representative, I don't know his name, I wasn't given his name, with him, along with several members of the Laventil community, and there were 5 senior members of the police service. They all attended that meeting.
The minister is now questioning why anyone would go to such lengths to entrap him. He says he has taken a tough approach on crime and will continue to go after the big players in the business.
They can launder their money through casinos and sport bars with Nigerian workers who have no work permit, or they can hide behind building apartments and businesses on their wife's name, or they can even build big palaces and remove the mountaintop, whether it's in Marvel or anywhere else. I repeat, they shall be caught.
He says the Financial Intelligence Unit has already listed 331 accounts that are of suspicious natures, and that money laundering is a crime that he will pursue relentlessly, adding,
I want to assure this country that they can run, but never will they be allowed to hide.
Well, we attempted to contact the PSA President Watson Duke this afternoon. When he called his phone, a woman answered and told us that he had left his cell phone at a hotel where he was staying in Tobago. And Port of Spain Mayor Louis Leasing called an emergency news conference a short while ago to respond to the allegations made by Minister Warner. And Mayor Leasing says he is considering his legal options in this matter. He told reporters that there was no truth to the allegations made by the National Security Minister, as he expressed deep concern about this development.
What Minister Warner has done today is to convince me as a citizen of this country that all that has ever been said of him by way of trustworthiness or lack thereof must be taken seriously. And further, I put our nation on notice that we are dealing with a most dangerous situation.
Mayor Lee Singh explained that a young man shared with him some sensitive information about crime that he felt Minister Warner needed to know about. He said he arranged a meeting where both men met and spoke, and it was agreed that there was need for another meeting which would take place at the St. Paul Street. Mayor Lee Singh said it is a sad day for governance in this country when Minister Warner, a man with whom he thought he shared a close working relationship and believed was his friend, would make such a statement so far from the truth.
I am appalled that Minister Warner could put such a spin on this matter. He is the Minister of National Security, and if it is in the best interest of the security of the country, people who are engaged in crime choose to speak to him and him only, then so be it. They didn't ask to speak to the mayor. And therefore, I am not about the business of setting up people. You either want to meet or you don't want to meet, but don't set up the meeting and then don't go to it, send somebody and then say that I am trying to set you up. Absolute nonsense.
Turning away from this matter now, hours of persistent overnight rains resulted in heavy flooding in the capital city and left hundreds of commuters stranded at City Gate this morning. The rains also created panic in the minds of Digger Martin residents who are still trying to come to terms with the disaster which occurred in the area 2 weeks ago. Cameraman Neil Romain and reporter Chester Sembrano visited several areas this morning and they brought back this report.
Almost ready to burst its banks. The East Dry River mere inches away from spilling over onto Independence Square and South Quay. It was a result of over 8 hours of constant rain. When CNC3 News visited the area shortly after 7 on Thursday morning, things were not looking good. Traffic heading into Port of Spain had already started to pile up. The side streets leading to South Quay impassable, and all of South Quay itself converted into a river. Some would try different means of getting through, but to no avail. It is here we found hundreds of commuters stranded with nothing to do but wait.
It's the first time I really witnessed something like this. It's total chaos.
I freeze. I don't know what to do if to turn up, not down.
Businesses were not spared, and so too the trees on the Brian Lara Promenade, which came crashing down. Over in the disaster area of Diego Martin, the situation was not so grim. But Councillor for Glencoe Goodwood Laperta told CNC3 News anxiety was the order of the day for his burgesses.
I didn't sleep last night because these people have nothing left. And, and at any point in time, I can't believe, most of them, how they actually slept last night because everyone is in fear.
He said 64 houses in the La Perita area are in danger of falling, and more rain gives no comfort. There were some reports of landslides on the Lady Young Road, but what we found was this structure almost ready to give away. Further down the road, near the Barataria roundabout, a tree had fallen onto some low-lying power lines and a car, but luckily no one was hurt.
Hours after the rain stopped, some areas still remained underwater. For instance, Abattoir Road and Independence Square. As you see, this gas truck is also finding it difficult to come through the floodwaters.
By 10 a.m., most of the floodwaters subsided, making it easier to venture into Port of Spain. For CNC3, I am Chester Sembrano.
And many families in East Port of Spain woke up this morning to violent winds which tore the roofs off their homes. While the waters receded, the damage to many homes in places like Laventille and Beetham remained, leaving many families wondering where to spend the night. Cameraman Timothy Chasto and reporter Kamal Georges were in these communities today, and they brought back this story.
It's like a single parent and somebody helping me out. You understand? The roof ain't gonna tall. I cannot do this morning is to get on my knees, face the east and talk to my God because I know the roof was going to go.
the pain of a mother who lost the little she called her own. Wednesday nights, gusty winds and heavy rains inundated her home, destroying everything. She says she has no means of piecing her life back together.
I don't want no house, I don't want no land, I don't want nothing. All I want is assistance to fix the roof in the place.
East Port of Spain was battered during Wednesday evening's stormy conditions. It took with it the roofs of several homes in and around Laventille.
The galvanized blow off on top and all the water just come downstairs. Damaged vinyl, branches soaked down, chairs soaked down.
The mother of 7 is unsure of where she and her children will spend the night. Her neighbor, Ann Thomas, a seamstress, says the downpour was so heavy she was unable to save most of her belongings, including her business equipment. She fears she may not be able to deliver her orders of school uniforms before the new term opens.
I lost all my sewing machines and things. TV, everything wet, and you know these things don't work on water with them, right?
But a visit from the minister in the Ministry of the People and Social Development, Vanilla Aline Toppin, and other officials on Thursday came with a promise of immediate relief.
We will give all of the furniture and appliances that have been destroyed.
Ms. Toppin says mattresses will be provided by Thursday evening, and it will take another 2 or 3 days before appliances are ordered and delivered to some of these families. For CNC3, I'm Kamal Georges.
And that's the story which takes us to your vote tonight. We've asked you this question many times before, but in light of today's flooding, we'll ask it again. Tell us, do you think this country is prepared for a major natural disaster? Text your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if it's no, the letter N. We'll give you an update on the voting during the newscast and the final vote at the very end tonight. But meanwhile, local government minister Dr. Suraj Rambachan says his ministry will take serious action against persons who block drains and river courses that result in flooding in their communities.
The Ministry of Local Government and the Minister has advised the local government corporations to take a very strong view and not to in fact compromise the law in any way whatsoever with respect to persons who have been blocking water courses, who have been altering natural water courses, or in any way doing things that can cause flooding of areas and of premises. Enough of that has happened in the country, and we know that in the Diego Martin area some of that also happened, the slash and burn and what have you, and the blocking of water channels.
Oh, from the bleak news of rain, we move right across now to Astor Wren. Hopefully he'll be a ray of sunshine in the sportscast. Right, Astor?
Yes, indeed, Charlie. Well, thank you so much. Well, coming up in the sportscast, well, we have some of the country's top Olympians, the sprinters. They were in action today in Lausanne. Plus, we have Brian Charles Lara. He gave the reason why he has included Dwight York into his 11, which is very difficult to make for this weekend's 2020 for 50 Cricket Festival. And then we have a young man, a BMX flatlander. Well, he has done extremely well in Spain. All these and more when I come back. It's back to you, Charlie.
See, I knew you'd be our ray of sunshine, Astor, right? Let's continue with the news now with Samson Nanton. Samson.
You're very right, Charlene. I'm eager to hear about that Dwight York, Brian Lara combination. I already have my tickets for those games on the weekend. Let me ask you to vote once again on this particular question tonight. We want to find out from you, do you think this country is prepared for a natural or major natural disaster? Text your response to the number 2623. If you want to vote yes, text Y. If you want to vote no, text N. We'll give you an update as we go along, and of course the final result at the end of tonight's news. We also want you to vote to determine who was the most influential person in Trinidad and Tobago over the last 50 years. Every night we unveil one of the 50 most influential personalities from the year of our independence in 1962 right up to present day 2012. Vote as well via the number 2623. And just ahead on the CNC3 news, a 39-year-old man is murdered in Piti Valley following a row with a man he knew. A looming increase in the prices of imported goods as shipping lines raise their costs. And later, the Agricultural Development Bank gives special consideration to Muslim law to allow Muslim farmers to access funding This is the news on CNC3. We'll continue after this.
I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. Blue and gold.
You bet is Carrot.
Be inspired. It's time to awaken your creative senses with a new kitchen appliance from Quartz. Come in and select from our wide range of the world's best brands of appliances. Win a stocked fridge of Presidente beer, Coca-Cola, and Dasani water with the purchase of any major appliance. And what's more, if you shop today, you'll get something special with every purchase of Whirlpool and Mabe kitchen appliances. So be inspired to create that delicious masterpiece with your new kitchen appliance. Only from Quartz, bringing value home.
As we continue, a 39-year-old PT Valley man was shot dead today during a row with a man he knew. Police reports indicate that around 1 o'clock this afternoon, Russell St. Rose was sitting along with some friends at 4th Street on Simeon Road with some friends this afternoon when he got into an argument with a man he knew. The police are saying that St. Rose was shot several times and he died on the spot. They expect to make an arrest soon. Also today, Sangre Grande police have launched a manhunt for 3 men who beat and robbed a 63-year-old man last week. The man, identified as Cameron Lochan, died from his injuries on Tuesday, and police say that the death is now being classified as murder. Police say Lochan was visiting his nephew at Gajada Road in Sangre Grande last Tuesday when 3 men wearing bandanas stormed the house and announced a robbery. The men began beating Lochan on his head with guns, following which they tied him up and relieved him of his cell phone and valuables. The police were contacted and Lochan was taken to hospital but complained of severe pains and died this Tuesday. Police are now treating the case as murder. Consumers are being warned about another possible increase in goods, and the warning is coming from the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association. The association is in fact trying to stave off the increase by appealing to shipping lines. In a statement today, the TTMA is calling on the various shipping lines to clarify and rethink its increase in terminal handling fees. The association says that one line, CMA CGM, has indicated that there will be a 12% increase in the handling charging from US $169 per container to US $189 from September 1st. The TTMA says it's the second increase in the last 6 months and adds that such increases add to the cost inputs into manufacturing, which will no doubt affect the cost of the finished products and how much the consumer has to pay. A total of 17,492 laptop computers have been purchased by the Education Ministry for students entering Form 1 in September, in keeping with the government's policy to provide laptops to secondary school entrants. Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh says the laptops have been purchased at a cost of over $9 million or 58 million TT dollars. He says the distribution will begin on Wednesday, September 5th, and that several features will be installed on them.
Microsoft Kudo, Microsoft Maths Add-in, Microsoft Chemistry, Autocollage, Bing Search, Bing Translator, Worldwide Telescope, and so on. And then a Pennacool, Pennacool.com, Maths and English ICD. So it's a lot of information these students are getting on the laptop.
Well, it's time now to look at what's happening in the entertainment world in tonight's Entertainment Hotspot.
Entertainment Hotspot is brought to you by Lucozade Energy.
The order of appearance has been approved for the finalists in the Tuco Lord Bryner 50th Independence Anniversary Calypso Monarch Final. The competition comes off this Saturday at the Queen's Park Savannah. Gracing the stage first will be Singing Sandra, then Chucky, King Luther, Dwayne O'Connor, Kizzy Ruse, Sugar Aloes, Karine Ashe, Michelle Henry, Heather McIntosh and Karen Eccles. Devon Seal is the reserve. The competition boasts of a prize package worth $1.2 million. Kate Simon, the Lord Bryner, won the first Independence National Calypso Monarch title back in 1962. Prince Harry, Happy Harry, Dirty Harry, the nicknames could go on and on. The 27-year-old royal has learned that not everything that happens in Vegas stays there after nude pictures of him surfaced while on a 7-day holiday in the U.S. hotspot. While British papers have been banned from publishing the pics, it has not stopped editorials and calls in the UK for the prince, who is third in line to the throne, to be stripped of his title. Already the royal family is upset with him and are also unhappy with his handlers for allowing the scandal to even take place.
Entertainment hotspot there. Well, it's time now for What You Saw, where we highlight the photos and the video you send us. The address news@cnc3.co.tt.
This morning's heavy rains and floods make up the What You Saw segment tonight. First picture from Wayne, who shows us the floods after the rain stopped in Ariapita Road, St. Anne's. Wayne says the road became the river as debris blocked the flow of the river in the vicinity of Cascadia Hotel. One of our viewers sent us this next picture. It's of the St. Anne's main road. Our viewer says to think this happened and we did not get hit by the real storm. Vivek sent us these next set of photos of the clouds and heavy rains at the Piarco International Airport this morning. Vivek says it's some serious cloudage. And finally, Ravi sent us this picture saying during the heavy rains, a superhero decided to show up to help out Trinidadians. Ravi says it's Spider-Man to the rescue.
I'm a bit stopped in my tracks there, Charlie. Just exactly what is Spider-Man going to do to stop the rain? I'm really interested. Maybe pull the clouds with his web or something, Charlie? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure maybe it was just someone making a fashion statement, because I'm not... Picture was a little bit cloudy itself, so I can't really say if it was Spider-Man. I'm not convinced it was. I just thought maybe somebody got dressed in similar colors. So.
Well, Charlene, it's all over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Samson. Let me remind you of tonight's Your Vote question. At this time, the question we're asking you to vote on tonight is, do you think this country is prepared for a major natural disaster? Remember, you're texting your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, you're texting the letter Y, and if it's no, the letter N. We're going to give you an update on how you're voting after the Sportscast with Astil and the final vote at the very end tonight. Let's move right across now to Astil Wren. He has your Sportscast. Astil.
Thanks again, Charlene. Well, coming up in this evening's sports coverage, local Olympic bronze medalist finishes down the field in 400 meters event in Diamond League meet. Australian champion spin bowler to miss 2020 for 50 Cricket Festival. Brian Lara says West Indies T20 squad on par with the best in the world. Caledonia AIA gained first point in CONCACAF Champions League. And local BMX Flatlander competes. He finishes in the top 4 in Spanish Festival. All next on Sport.
Hazel Ward Redmond is a broadcast pioneer in Trinidad and Tobago. A former teacher of English language and literature, she began her career at the B station of Radio Trinidad, the voice of rediffusion, and she was then promoted to Radio Trinidad. In 1962, Hazel became one of the news anchors on Trinidad and Tobago Television, the nation's first television station, where she was also the first weather anchor. Hazel's interest in the arts was expressed in the programs she hosted over the decades. She is best known as Auntie Hazel to the hundreds of children to whom she gave exposure on her talent shows 12 and Under, which aired for almost 4 decades, and Teen Talent. These programs also featured the well-beloved Maurice Connor, her friend, advisor, and accompanist. Mr. Connor was a blind pianist who once served as principal of the School for Blind Children and gave piano and singing lessons there. Hazel Ward Redmond has received several national honors, among which are Giles Perro Award in 2008 and the Trinidad and Tobago Publishers and Broadcasters Association Award in 2007. In 2000, she was awarded the Hummingbird Medal Gold for her contribution to culture.
The 50 most influential personalities since independence. We want your view via text on Facebook and online at 50tt.guardian.co.tt.
You're talking to your best friend when
You're getting a clean day, family.
you get cash back.
Yeah, darling.
You're talking to your best friend when you realize you're always a winner. You're talking to your best friend when you get a makeover. You suddenly feel like dancing. Every dog gets its day. You have your cake and eat it too. Night falls. You're talking to your best friend. Whatever else happens, always get extraordinary value with Digicel. Get $1 cash back for every paid minute on local Digi-to-Digi calls made during the day, so you can talk more at night. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
Studying for a degree, MBA or MSc at the School of Accounting and Management will change your future generation. We teach over 140 different modules that will make you a game-changing success, confident, innovative, inspiring, versatile, and globally employable. Register now at the School of Accounting and Management or visit our website www.samteacher.com or see us always on the front inside cover of your TSC directory. Programs offered are exclusive to us and unmatched in this region.
Don't miss Radio Shack's great back-to-school sale. All the top-name electronic items you want at reduced prices, including the newly arrived and incredibly hot Apple iPad 3. Plus, a chance to win one of 35 back-to-school survival kits. A total of over $55,000 in prizes to be won. Radio Shack's great back-to-school sale is now on with the best prices on everything from Lexmark printers to Toshiba televisions and lots more. Get to the head of the class with Sheltip back-to-school shoes. The most durable back-to-school shoes in TNT with real leather uppers and stitch outsoles from just $164.99. Plus, get one pair of socks free with every pair purchased. Sheltip available exclusively at Detour.
This Independence Day is special. So at Subway for the whole month of August, the treat's on us. That's right. When you buy any foot-long Subway sandwich during August, we will give you a treat free. Choose from any of our decadent offerings. Cookies, muffins, brownies, even Soldanza chips. So stop by any of our 42 Subway stores for your next footlong and let us treat you. Happy Independence Day. Subway. Fresh.
Mrs. B is happy. She's happy because she knows every bottle of Smolta is filled with B vitamins, ideal for growth, concentration, and vitality. Give them their B's. Smolta, because you love them.
Well, former South African opening batsman Herschel Gibbs and Justin Kemp lead the cast of foreign players for the upcoming 2020 for 50 Cricket Festival on the weekend at the Queen's Park Oval. The teams, led by Darren Ganga, Brian Lara, Jamaica's Tamara Lambert and Dinesh Ramdin, were revealed to members of the media earlier today. Jamaica's cricket captain Tamara Lambert is no stranger to the shores. He has come with a very powerful squad, with the exception of Chris Gayle. Lambert has promised exciting cricket from the Jamaicans.
We see this as our preparation phase started from now for the T20 competition in January. So now we plan to play some exciting cricket, and I promise all the people in Trinidad and Tobago that we'll be competitive.
Darren Ganga, in whose team include Justin Kemp, Logail Bosman, Suleiman Ben, Kevin Stout and Azad Fudadin, added it's more than 3 days of cricket.
I can tell you one thing, it is not only Brian that is very competitive, I'm very competitive, and there's a lot of reputations at stake.
Lara's 14-man squad includes Herschel Gibbs, half-brothers Pedro Collins and Fidel Edwards, former Weepers CEO Dinat Ramnarine and Dwight York. Lara gave the reason for York's inclusion.
Dwight York demanded that he played because he gave me the opportunity to play for Manchester United recently. So I had to bow when Dwight said, he wanted to play.
Dinesh Ramdin, who is at the helm of the TNT Red Force team, was absent due to the inclement weather. Lara discloses why Australian spin wizard Shane Warne will be missing the tournament.
First of all, just a little disappointment. Our big search was for Shane Warne, who actually last minute said he could make it. He has some time to spend with his kids. It's the summers, you know, everywhere around the world, and his kids are going back out to school. So unfortunately, we had him sort of almost there and had to pull out, and we have to understand the situation.
Well, still with cricket, Yannick Otley, William Perkins and Evan Lewis have been included in the TNT Red Force squad for the 2020 for 50 Festival. Also included is left-arm spinner Dave Mohammed. The full squad looks like this: Dennis Ramden, Lendl Simmons, Adrian Barrett, Darren Bravo, William Perkins, Evan Lewis, Jason Mohammed, Yannick Otley, Kevin Cooper, Riyad Emrit, Nevin Stewart, Samuel Badri, Shomin Ganga and Dave Mohammed. Well, former West Indies and world record holder Brian Lara believes the West Indies team named for the upcoming World T20 tournament in Sri Lanka is right on par with the best in the world. In a more conventional interview than the one which was aired last evening, he told our Jassi Marik that success depends upon how the unit clicks.
He admits that he's not had the opportunity to play much T20 cricket himself. But hey, when the Prince of Port of Spain talks cricket, from the schoolyard game to Lords, we sit back and we listen. And so, with his beloved West Indies team set to chase World Cup glory soon, Lara is touting this team to shine.
I believe that we do have the ingredients in terms of, you know, the specialist players, Chris Gayle, Pollard, Bravo. You know, we have guys who have done well on the international stage. Bravo and Chris Gayle at their best, you know, they can beat any team. Pollard coming in, you know, number 5 or number 6, wherever he bats. So I believe, as it not being big on the tactical side of it, I do believe that we have the individuals to do well.
He says that our chances are particularly enhanced by reigning champions England's fading fortunes, but says it's anybody's guess who comes out on top.
Again, it's the shortest version of the game, and it's not, you know, a team gets on top or have a good, you know, 20 overs whilst batting, you know, could sort of put an end to the game immediately. So it's very tough to see who, you know, could win. I think there's 4 or 5 teams out there that on any given day could come out on top.
Apart from wanting to see the West Indies lift the cup, the Prince would simply like to see good, clean cricket.
It's a World Cup, and, you know, the tension and the hype and the competitiveness is at its optimum, and we expect that everybody to be really crazy and going out to win. But for me, it's to see good, spirited cricket, everybody playing fair, and may the best team win.
Reporting for CNC3 Sports, I am Jassi Marik.
Meanwhile, on the domestic front, former TNT captain Darren Ganga believes that he can be an asset to this country's team when the squad is named for the Champions League T20 in October this year. Ganga will lead an all-star team this weekend in the 20 for 2050 tournament. And while he recognizes the entertainment value of the extravaganza, he's also well aware that the selectors will be out to take notes.
I've been training with the national team in preparations for Champions League. That team hasn't been selected, so this is a trial and a showing, so to speak, before they make that final selection. So, you know, I'm looking forward to good performances as a batter, you know, obviously leading my team to the finals and probably to this title. I know that Brian indicated that he has a funny feeling that one of our teams are going to win this competition.
The former West Indies opening batsman is also looking forward to being right there in South Africa when TNT collects the trophy, which he says is very well possible.
Potentially, we're a very good team and we could win this title, but it all depends on how cricket is played on the day. You know, we've been training really hard. I think we've got, you know, the right combination of players to do the job. Whether or not Dwayne, Pollard and Sunil will be playing for us, you know, I think if they are playing for us, it's, you know, it's a huge difference. We're playing in foreign conditions in South Africa where it's not slow bowler friendly, it's more seamer friendly, and we thrive on slow bowlers as a team. So these are things we need to look at. It will be challenging for Dinesh, you know, and the selectors to come up with the right combination, and let's see where they go.
Well, Caledonia AIA managed to get their first point in CONCACAF Champions League last night as they held Honduran team CD Marathon to a 0-0 draw at the Ato Boldon Stadium. This result comes following last weekend's 3-1 defeat to Seattle Sounders on the road, but it did little to appease Caledonia's head coach Jamal Shabazz and skipper Rafanda Abubakar.
Disappointed with the result. I think it was 2 points dropped. Just probably lacked a little killer instinct in front of goal. Maybe a little rusty because we're out of season. Maybe that's just making excuses really. But I think we should have won the game today. Yeah.
I thought we created a couple of chances and enough chances to steal it, you know, in the first half and in the second half. You know, there's always the question for the Caribbean teams of belief coming into a CONCACAF tournament like this. But I thought today we showed that we're not any distance away from these teams, and a little more belief, a little more fitness, a lot more organization. I think we're still in with a chance.
Well, looking ahead to Cali's 2 remaining matches in the group phase, where they will be aiming to progress to the next round, Shabazz indicated his desire to remedy the team's goal-scoring issues.
Well, it's not an overnight solution. The coach or the player who can solve all the goal-scoring problems in the world will be the richest in the whole wide world. It is the phenomenal problem of world football. But we continue to work on composure, because I thought today at times we had a little more time than we thought we had. You know, and composure is about knowing how much time and how much space we have. And I thought this is the area we want to isolate and work on some more.
In track and field now, and several of the world's best athletes, including a number of Olympic champions, came under scrutiny for the first time since the London Olympic Games today at the Lausanne Diamond League meet in Lausanne. Well, Usain Bolt and Blake were kept apart in the 200 meters and the 100 meter sprints, respectively. But both men went on to capture first places today.
The triple Olympic champion Bolt won his 200-meter race comfortably, posting a time of 19.58 seconds. But he was upstaged by Blake, who ran the 100 meters in the second fastest time ever. Bolt's training partner clocked a time of 9.69 seconds, taking 0.06 of a second off his own personal best. Needless to say, he dominated the race. It's a real shame we won't get to see Bolt and Blake go head-to-head again this season. Their manager has said they won't be entered into the same races again in 2012.
Well, in the 100 meters, this country's Keston Bledman and Richard Thompson were 7th and 8th, respectively, in 10:14 and 10:32. In the women's 100 meters showdown, Olympic silver medalist Carmelita Jeter, she clocked 10.86, and she tipped the gold medalist Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price. TNT's Kellyanne Batiste was 3rd in 10.93 seconds. In the men's 400 meters, Grenadian Kirani James and Dominican Republic Llewellyn Santos repeated their 1-2 from the Olympics, but TNT's Lalon Gordon finished 7th in a time of 45.62 seconds. Kevin Bowley of Belgium was 3rd. A national female boxing champion, Rhea Ramnarine, returns after a layoff for 18 months. Ramnarine will be on the boxing card promoted by Unified Boxing Promotions, headed by Giovanni Potts. At today's news conference, some of the hopefuls from the amateur ranks for the 2016 Olympics were introduced to members of the media. Also appearing on the September 2nd card in the Senate and the Joey Vargas showdown, the main event, there will be Leanne Budram and Jamila Jones.
Have Rhea Ramnarine. She'll be fighting Curly Lopez, who's a 5-1 fighter out of Mexico. Rhea hasn't been in the ring for over a year and a half. She's just getting back into gear, and now, you know, we're glad to see her back in the ring. She'll be fighting an 8-rounder. We also have Kevon Diaz, who gave a really subpar showing a couple months ago at Woodford Square, where he was knocked out by a veteran, Michael Pittman.
Well, local BMX flatlander Keegan Arls finished 4th at the 12th edition of the Spanish Festival. The 3-day event took place from August 10th to 12th. The winner of that event was Marcus Danisclos of France. Keegan Arls has been flying the national flag with great distinction overseas. Having won the local BMX leg, Arls found himself in one of the biggest competitions in Spain. Well, after his performance, the TNT champion placed 4th, and he was not complaining. He is satisfied with his development.
I've improved a lot, you know, since from Costa Rica. The level of riding has improved a lot from there, you know, and people can actually see it now. Well, I want to continue progressing and pushing myself forward and inspiring other riders to do the same too as well. and continue competing and just building the sport better and bigger, you know.
BMX Flatlander pioneer Trevor Hall was a judge at the Omaskino Championship.
The Omaskino contest in Vigo, Spain is almost on the same level. It's like the largest, you know, apart from the FIS contest in France. So it's a big international contest. We had competitors from Germany, people from France, people from all different parts of Europe, and the only person from the Caribbean was Keegan House, and he did pretty well. So I must say it was a large event. You know, we had crowds of over 10,000 people there, and we had people representing from over 20 different countries in Spain.
And in the same breath, Hall is still pushing for a home for the sport.
We need to have a home, which I'm working on at the same time. And again, our Honourable Minister has been very instrumental with that development, and we are in the groundworks of it. It's going to come to fruition in a bit. I'm working hard in the background. We have a nice piece of property that was given to us for further development, so we can have a full-scale home.
And on to this evening's Sports High, which comes from the ICC Under-19 World Cup, where India faced New Zealand in a semi-final encounter. Baba Apajit was on the go on 44 and looking dangerous when he pulled this delivery from Ish Saudi, and skipper Will Young plucked this one out of the air. New Zealand did not go on to win the encounter, but skipper Will Young, for his superb catch, is rewarded with the CNC3 Sports High. Well, that's our lineup on this Thursday evening. It's back to you, Charlene.
Thank you, Astil. Well, we have some news just coming to us. Former Prime Minister Patrick Manning has been rushed to the San Fernando General Hospital just about half an hour ago after suffering a seizure. Now, CNC3 News understands Mr. Manning is currently being attended to by a senior team of doctors. Chairman of the Southwest Regional Health Authority, Dr. Lakram Bodo, has confirmed that Mr. Manning's condition has stabilized. However, it was too early to give a full statement on what triggered his seizure. However, well-placed sources tell CNC3 News that Mr. Manning was exercising when he collapsed. Calls to his Sumat Gardens home also confirmed that he was rushed to hospital. Mr. Manning returned home just about 3 weeks ago after spending 6 months at the Walter Reed Hospital in Washington, D.C. after he suffered a major stroke back in January of this year. And we'll give you more on that story on Mr. Manning's condition in our 10 o'clock newscast, so be sure to look out for that. So let me give you a status report on the Your Vote question at this time. The question you're voting on tonight: do you think this country is prepared for a major natural disaster? From your responses so far, a meager 2% of you have voted in yes, you think we are prepared, while 98% of you have so far voted in no. So remember, you still have a chance to get your vote in on this question. As well, go to our Facebook page to comment on this question for our Your View segment, and it will be used in tomorrow night's newscast. Well, coming up just ahead on the CNC3 News tonight, members of the Muslim community were not only treated to a special luncheon, courtesy the Prime Minister, but also learned of some great things to come in the near future. Find out what it's all about as we continue with the CNC3 News weather after this break.
Check this. I stuck in traffic. Well, the Wi-Fi sees and 4G speed.
B-Mobile, TNT's #1 mobile network.
It's really one bank, it can depend on friendly service every day. It's really one standard of treating you like you deserve to be. Yeah, Republic is only the best to you. We get personal attention, so explain for your inspection. Let's focus, people. Come on and get it sorted. Get more out of your day. Get things done
Enjoy the new look and same great taste today. Ginseng up, the roots of all power.
When it was announced, the suspense was over. And then when I looked at the contestants behind me and all around me, I realized what it meant for Trinidad and Tobago. What makes me proud about Trinidad and Tobago? It's really the spirit of the people. We are a beautiful people. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting to #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
Anyone can be the one. Be responsible and don't drink and drive. Designate a friend and lime again. Be the one. A message from Trinidad and Tobago Beverage Alcohol Alliance.
We now move across to Eric Mackey for a look at your weather. Eric.
Thank you, Charlene. Well, quite a bit of weather this morning. As we said yesterday evening, there was a chance of feeder band effect off of Tropical Storm Isaac as it passed to the north of us, and that's exactly what happened. There were actually two events. There was one shortly after 8 o'clock last night, ran up to around 11:30, and that calmed down. And then early this morning at around 4 a.m., the rain started in Port of Spain, and we had torrential rain for almost an hour. Then it calmed down, and then it came back again at around 6 a.m. and dumped some more rainfall on us. And a lot of rain fell in the Port of Spain area, the Northwest Peninsula in general. Fortunately, the Diego Martin area didn't suffer the way it did before, nor did Maraval, as the rainfall kept more to the east part of Port of Spain. And so downtown Port of Spain and places like Woodbrook and so on got the brunt of it. That system is now moving west of us. And as it does so, it's taking all of that moisture away with it. At around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, the Met Services lifted all the information bulletins it was carrying on this system, and we're getting back slowly into normal conditions. There's still a bit of moisture around, and it may produce 1 or 2 showers overnight into tomorrow, but we're not going to see anything like what we saw this morning. And there's also a second tropical storm on in the picture. There are two this time, a very busy satellite picture indeed. And Tropical Storm Joyce formed out of Tropical Depression 10, which formed up yesterday evening. And Joyce is struggling, not doing too well out in this area at all, and maybe in fact be falling apart. So we'll see whether she's still around tomorrow or not. The winds are going to be around 10 to 15 knots, up to 12 to 18 knots at times, a bit variable, gusting up to around 22 knots, and they're going to be out to an east-southeast to southeasterly direction. The seas are forecast to be around 2 to 2.5 meters. Now, this sea is likely to be coming down. By tomorrow evening, it'll probably be down to around 2 meters. And out to an east-northeast to easterly direction. In the Gulf of Paria, we're looking for the seas to be around 1 meter, possibly a little bit more than that at times. The wind may be a little bit gusty. Trinidad tonight's forecast will be partly cloudy, isolated shower in that forecast. Tonight will be 24 degrees. Tomorrow we're looking at partly sunny conditions, at first becoming variably cloudy with isolated showers around late morning or midday into early afternoon. There's a chance of a thunderstorm. Tomorrow's high will be 32 degrees. Across in Tobago tonight, partly cloudy, 1 or 2 isolated showers, a low of 24. And Tobago tomorrow, partly sunny, isolated showers during the day, chance of a thunderstorm over there as well, and a high of 30. The sun's going to rise at 5:56 a.m. and sets at 6:19 p.m. First low tide for Port of Spain will be at 2:57 a.m. and for Scarborough 2:38. First high tide 9:08 a.m. for Port of Spain and 9:01 for Scarborough. And that's my weather report for now. We'll have a look at the travelers' forecast and we'll take a short break, and then we come back, Charlie, and I'll have some more news to you.
You're talking to your best friend when
You're going to clean their family.
you get cash back.
Yeah, darling.
You're talking to your best friend when you realize you're always a winner. You're talking to your best friend when you get a makeover. You suddenly feel like dancing. Every dog gets its day. You have your cake and eat it too. Night falls. You're talking to your best friend. Whatever else happens, always get extraordinary value with Digicel. Get $1 cash back for every paid minute on local Digi-to-Digi calls made during the day, so you can talk more at night. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
We're testing new Degree, the only antiperspirant activated directly by movement.
Activating protection, Bear!
The more you move, the more it works. New long-lasting Degree with motion sense.
Not me!
Keep running.
At the tender age of 13, Giselle Solandi made her professional debut into the roughhousing world of boxing. At age 14, she defeated Paola Rojas of Colombia, becoming the youngest person to win the boxing title Wiba Ibero. Unbeknownst to many at the time, she was under the legal fight age of 17, set by Trinidad and Tobago's Boxing Control Act. She became the first person to win 6 world title belts in one fight, and broke a Caribbean record by defending all her world titles 6 consecutive times. A fatal and tragic accident snuffed out her future promise. She was posthumously honored with Trinidad and Tobago's highest national award, the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Giselle Solandi, Trinidad and Tobago's legacy in sport.
Welcome back. The Agricultural Development Bank has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Muslim community to ensure that Muslim farmers could access loans, given that Muslim law has special restrictions when it comes to interest payments. The MOU was signed at an Eid luncheon at the Diplomatic Center hosted by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar this afternoon. Chairman of the ADB, Rudy Miraj, explained why it's necessary.
A banking system that is based on the principles of Islamic law, also known as Sharia, and guided by Islamic economics. 2 basic principles behind Islamic banking are the sharing of profit and loss and, significantly, the prohibition of the collection and payment of interest. Collecting interest is not permitted under Islamic law.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar was also a signatory of the MOU. She says the agreement will augur well for the Muslim community.
Today, as together we celebrate Eid, we also rejoice in this new undertaking, which will now create more opportunities for a better quality of life for our citizens.
We now take a short break. Stay with us.
And at the party there's a crowd, E-I-E-I-O. With a hook hook here, and a shake shake there. Shake shake hook hook, everywhere shake hook, E-I-E-I-O. Soca party, Soccer body over with Centel.
One dose of Centel eliminates most common words. Deworm your family with Centel.
There's no more mess and no more stress, and it's fun for the family too. You can write your name or play a game. The Swiss Spouch was made for
no
you.
stress. The all-new Swiss Ketchup Spouch is here. It's time to catch up to the Spouch today.
Mrs. B is happy. She's happy because she knows every bottle of Smolta is filled with B vitamins, ideal for growth, concentration, and vitality. Give them their B's. Smolta, because you love them.
Smooth in, frizz out. Suave Professional's Keratin Infusion Shampoo and Conditioner is infused with keratin. It controls frizz for up to 48 hours. Salon proven to smooth as well as Kerastase Ban Oleo Relax.
Heading back out to work after a great vacation? Catwalk's got you covered. Take 60% off our entire career department. All jackets, pants, skirts, blouses, and suits are all on sale. Take 60% off accessories too. Sale now on at all Catwalk stores.
Professional boxing is back on Sunday, September 2nd at the Woodbrook Youth Facility. Keyshawn Walcott brought you Olympic gold. Now, come out and see Kurt Sinnett bring to the nation boxing gold as he takes on Joey Vegas out of Uganda for the WBC Light Heavyweight International title. Also fighting our very own Rio Ramnarine, Kevin Diaz, and MMA specialist Dwayne Hine. Gates open at 3 p.m. Tickets available at all Extra Foods, High-Low Food Stores, and Kenny's Sports Center.
We now bring you a summary of the main international stories of today.
A week after the mass killing of South African miners by police, the government says it will carry out a judicial investigation into what happened. The announcement came as thousands gathered at the Lonmin mine to remember the dead. The German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, has again urged Greece to stick to its path of reform. She was speaking at the start of talks in Berlin with her French counterpart, François Hollande. Greece has been pleading for a relaxation of the terms of its bailouts with an extension of 2 years. Kenya says it will conduct a countrywide operation to disarm communities with illegal weapons after bloody clashes led to the deaths of at least 52 people on Wednesday. It's believed the incident in the Tana River district was sparked by a dispute over land and grazing rights. Prosecutors in Libya have announced the trial of Colonel Gaddafi's son, Saif al-Islam, which will begin next month in the town of Zintan. There's been uncertainty since he was captured last year over whether he'd be tried in Libya or outside.
The Ministry of the Arts and Multiculturalism presents the Red, White and Black Parade, a theatrical street event Thursday, August 30th, 3 to 6 p.m. The parade begins at the Twin Towers Independence Square and ends at Napa Courtyard in a rhythm festival. Wear your national colors, the Red, White and Black Parade, a golden celebration of our creative genius. For more information, call 625-6962 or log on to www.culture.gov.tt.
I inherited so much from my mother, especially her independence and her eye for quality.
And like her, whenever I need furniture, appliances, or electronics, I always choose Standard.
I mean, why not? They have given us over 50 years of excellent service and value.
And imagine, no interest charges at Standard from now until independence.
Celebrate your independence. You have standards.
2009, I will never forget that year. What we have accomplished as a very small nation is very inspiring. We gave the best for our team, for our country, and for our people. You know, this is one way of identifying a Trinbagonian, and cricket has definitely done that for us. What are you proud about? Tell us by tweeting on Twitter to #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
As we go, let's bring you the final results of tonight's Your Vote. 3% of you voted in yes, we are prepared for a major natural disaster, while 97% of you voted in no. We now come to the end of the 7 o'clock news here on CNC3. We thank you so much for your company. I'm Charlene Ramdani.
And I'm Samson Nanton. Have a good night.